Well, hello, folks out there in YouTube land. Got a big show lined up for you. Let's get right on into it. All right, let's pull up that screen. Cybl, CYBL. Have a little update on it. And is it time to buy this? I'm looking real hard at this company. There's no doubt. I've been doing a lot of digging and due diligence on these financials and trying to get a good feel for it. So we're going to talk about all that. Let's first talk about this market. Holy crap. Market's been in the crapper pretty bad.
Merry Christmas! Dinner was full!
Yeah, it's definitely been in the crapper, no doubt. We've got the market, it's been a little bit of a collapse for the last few months, and cryptocurrency, oh my gosh, crypto's really crashed. I saw Bitcoin was down to around 18,000, so I mean, it's really been rough. You've got interest rates going up now. You've got inflation through the roof. You've got gas prices at $5. I think I spent $100 today filling up my tank. That's the most I've ever spent ever. And it sucks. It really does. I could not be more frustrated with our leadership and what's happening with these gas prices. I mean, it pissed me off. I'll just go ahead and tell you, it's as mad as I've ever been filling my tank. I was like, what is happening? It just keeps going up. It's like 70, 80, 90. I was like, there's hardly any gas in the damn car. Anyway, oh, it stunk. But yeah, it's kind of a perfect storm.
We got no food. We got no jobs. Our pets' heads are falling off.
Yep, our pets' heads are definitely falling off. But we're going to get into Cybl here and talk about it. I'm very interested in this company and have been now for a while. The more digging I do on it, the digging I do. Anyway, I'm feeling pretty good about it. There are some issues with it, obviously. It's pink yield. That's no bueno. But they're working on that pretty hard, and there's pretty clear evidence that they've taken it very seriously, and I feel pretty decent about it, but we're going to talk about that. First thing is the first quarter. I've been looking at their financials, and their balance sheet is okay. It's not fantastic by any stretch, but it's not bad either. $1.6 million in cash, but they do have accounts receivable of $4.5 million. Now, granted, that's from previous sales, but it seems like they're building quite a bit, and I base that on this. They had revenue of $6.2 million. Their cost of goods sold was only $2.3 million, so they had a gross margin of 3.9. That's a very nice gross margin. I really like that. Their general administrative is not terrible, and income from operations, and even after tax, they're at $1.2 million on $6 million. That's a very nice margin after tax. That's excellent. So I feel real good about their revenues and their P&L. And then back to their balance sheet, total assets of $10 million and total long-term liabilities of 8.9. So, I mean, it's not a great balance sheet, but it's not terrible either. And that P&L is pretty impressive, especially for a company this size. That's not too bad at all. And it looks like they're thinking that they're going to do quite a bit better than that this year because of growth. They're calling for somewhere in the mid-40s as far as $1 million for the year, and they did, what, $6 million in the first quarter. So if you multiply that times 4, that'd be 25 million. So they're looking for big growth in this year. So at the margins they're at, if that continues, that's pretty strong. And then let's take a look at their outstanding shares and their market cap. Okay, as we look at this, outstanding, they got a lot of outstanding shares, but I understand they took care of 700 million, what they called phantom shares, and eliminated them. So they're sitting at 5.1 billion, and they are talking about a 19.5 million stock buyback. Well, at $66 million market cap, that would be a very significant buyback. And of course, the question is, where the crap do you get that money? It's not on the balance sheet, so where's that going to come from? You got to take a loan. What are you going to do? Well, what they're saying is they're going to take it out of cash flow. Now, this company does have positive cash flow, so that's certainly possible. So if they feel like that's the best thing to do with their positive cash flow, and they've announced it, I'm gonna have to kind of take them on their word for that based on what I'm looking at here. So if they do that, you know, this stock will obviously go up, 20 to 30% on that. Now the question is, how long is it going to take them to do that? Is that a 1 year, 2 year, 3 year plan? I'm not going ahead and putting that down as if that's going to definitely happen that way, but that makes me feel better, and it makes me feel like they know this stock may be underpriced or undervalued. But also when you look at the market cap of 66 million, they showed 1.2 million in profit. Even if that's all they did each quarter going forward, that would be almost $5 million. So, multiply that into their market cap. And, if they did that for a full year, a forward PE, this would be a value stock. Now, granted, forward PE and trailing PE are very different, and most people aren't going to go buy forward PE. But anyway, that's very solid. So now let's talk about the turd in the punch bowl. And this company's got that. And that is this freaking yield sign. This is very annoying to me, and it has been from day one. I almost didn't even look at this company because of it, which that tells you, that may be explaining some of this, but we're going to talk about also why this is down. But that's bugging the crap out of me. But, before I get too upset about it, when you go into their disclosures, you can see that they have filed an amended quarterly report, and I did, that was what I was just going through. And also, they do have an attorney letter that is attached to it. And I read this in the last video that I did, but this attorney's been an attorney for 30 years, and it's his opinion that this amended quarterly report is current and acceptable to the OTC markets based on his legal opinion. So I'm going to feel pretty good about that. And of course, like I said, it's signed and documented. Now, he is a shareholder of this company, but he was not paid any shares for this opinion letter, but he is a shareholder, and he did make that clear in this letter, which I think is smart. You don't want to come back later and say, do you own stock in this? And he does. So he did make that clear up front. Now, if you look at this stock, this is when I believe they announced that they were going to have that 19.5 million buyback, and this thing ran up about 80%. And I will also show you why it pulled back down, and I was expecting this because obviously a bunch of people jumped in when they heard that announcement. This thing ran up 80%. And then, of course, what happens? The shorts jump on it. And this is June 9th, for example. Watch what happens from June 9th. Yeah, right here. See all this 52%, 48%, 57% volume? All that's the shorts jumping all over this stock because they ran it up, and now they're going to pull it back down. As you can see, the days after that, it dropped from 57% volume short to 40 to 26 to 18. And that's what they do. They manipulate the heck out of these stocks, especially penny stocks. And that's as clear as a bell right there. I mean, that was whoop, run it up and then crash it back down. And what's going to probably happen if that yield sign goes away, I would fully expect another big bump, and they'll run it up, and then they'll probably try to bring it back down. It'll be a little harder, though, because when a company's pink current, that's what people want to see. A lot of people are not giving this stock a break because of that yield sign. Like myself, I wouldn't even buy it. But I am strongly considering it, and the way that I may play this is I may put it in my Roth IRA, and that way I can either hold it long, but when it turns pink current, if this thing bumps up and it gets out of hand and it runs up a little too much, then I could take some profit, and then I can let the shorts run it back down and then buy it again and then hold it. Because what I'd like to do is hold this thing long term, but with all this kind of crap going on, I may take advantage of that and let the shorts do my dirty work for me.
I'm going to use you two guys to do my dirty work for me.
Yep. So I'm very strongly concerned. I don't know if I'm going to buy it Tuesday or not, but I might very well, especially now that it's pulled back down. And like I said, this thing should be up 20% from that announcement, almost 30%, and it's not. It's pulled back down to this support level of around 1.2 cents. So that's much more comfortable. When I first started, this thing was still up in here, and I was like, okay, you just know what the shorts are going to do. They're going to pull it back down. So now it's probably down here to where I'm more comfortable. And part of this is the market, part of it is the shorts. So it's a little bit of both. And I did watch the full 1 hour plus of the Q&A with the CEO, and he seems pretty reasonable, and I liked what he had to say. They seem to have a good plan. And like I said, now this is a penny stock, so I practice the 10% rule. I'm not going to put a ton of money into it. It will only make up a part of my 10%, and I have that rule where I only put 10% of my portfolio in OTC stocks just because they are so risky. But this is one that I may very well have to put in there, and I've been looking at it for, gosh, I guess about 7 to 10 days pretty hard, and I'm starting to feel good about it. I don't like that yield sign, but again, they're doing all the right things to get rid of that. They're profitable. You know, I don't know. It's hard, it's going to be tough for me not to buy this stock. All right, folks, and that's Cyberlux today, CYBL. Just a little update and kind of giving you my opinion on it. If you like this content, be sure to hit that like button. Lets me know to continue to cover this stock. And if you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button. I'd certainly appreciate it. And we'll see you next time on Mr. Frugal Investor.